Two dragons were talking one day and realized that while one of them had spikes on their back, the other did not have these spikes. Why does the green dragon have these spikes but the red one lacks them? The green dragon must have a specific developmental pathway that allowed for him to develop these spikes. But what if these dragons share identical genome sequences? Why would one have these spikes but the other not have them? Before we get started, there are some important things to know. A developmental network is a genetic network that reveals how gene products will react with each other. For this video, we will be looking at developmental pathways. On these pathways, you will see two signs: a promote sign with an arrow and a repress sign with a block. This is the developmental pathway that we will be looking at, which is the developmental pathway for dragons with thorns on their back. The first version we will be discussing is a wild-type version. The wild type consists of no mutations, which will ultimately result in the development of spikes. Let's look at the pathways if there are no mutations. From S to P there is an arrow, meaning that the S will promote the P. From P to I there is a stop, which means that the P will block the I. From I to K there is a stop, which means that I will block the K as well. However, if P blocks I first, then I cannot block K. Therefore, the K will promote the E, which will result in spikes. Let's see what happens when we mutate the letter P on this developmental pathway. What this mutation means is that the P will not function. If P does not function, then there is nothing that will affect the I. Now, our pathway essentially starts at the letter I. Therefore, the I is able to repress the K. Because the K is repressed, it cannot promote E, meaning that the spikes will not develop. Now, let's say that the I is being mutated. Because the I cannot repress the K will be able to promote the E, which will allow for the development of spikes. Now let's make it a little more difficult. What if there were two mutations occurring in a sequence? We'll try it out. Let's mutate I and E. If I is mutated, it cannot repress K, which means that the K will promote E. However, recall that E is also being mutated. This means that E cannot allow for the development of spikes. What if the two mutations are now on S and K? Let's start with the S. Since S cannot promote P, P cannot block I. This means that I can repress the K. However, K has a mutation, therefore it cannot be repressed. K is not able to promote E, therefore there will be no spike development. What would happen if all of the skin cells on the dragon's body allowed for the development of spikes? This would probably not be the best situation for the dragon. If the dragon was completely covered in spikes, it would have trouble moving around. More specifically, spikes on the feet would make it difficult and painful to walk. Spikes on the hands would prevent the dragon from being able to hold things. Because spikes on these parts of the body would harm the dragon instead of help, the cells in these areas have an inhibiting factor that prevents the development of spikes.